Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is actually going to be a video response to these few videos that have been floating around now about the VC. Grievances, likes, just kind of, the state of the VC type of thing. So I thought, let me adjust this light a little bit. I thought, I came home from work to grab a little quick something to eat here, and I'm going to work for home the rest of the afternoon, and thought, let me just shoot a quick video here before I jump back on the computer and kind of throw my 2 cents in on it. I think, I'm just a Spud Boy. I'm not sure if he did the first video, but he did one kind of sharing his grievances, some grievances about the VC. Then me and Mr. Mayo made some comments, and then Adam Lee just posted one as well. So again, I'm just kind of jumping in on this to put my 2 cents in. So let me kind of start off by giving you a framework of, I guess, almost really kind of the way I view things, just kind of in life in general, that may help give you some perspective on what I'm saying about some of these issues. There's one thing that I've always thought is kind of one of the bigger issues in what's going on just in society in general right now. And, of course, I don't have the answers to everything and all things and stuff like that. But one of the things that really always kind of is always bubbling in my stomach that I tend to see a lot is people walking around living life like they're watching it on TV. And I always say, I try to make every attempt to not live life like I'm watching it on TV. And what I mean by that is when you're watching a TV show, your favorite movie, TV show, whatever, you might yell at the screen, idiot, duck, she's just a tramp, or what a this, or shoot him, or whatever. But what you kind of know is the fact of the matter is anything you say does not affect what happens on that TV show or that movie. Whether you said something good, something negative, something or nothing at all, whatever, you have no effect on what takes place on that television show. But what seems to happen these days is we turn off the TV and go into the real world, and we're still functioning like we're watching a TV show. So, we feel totally okay saying anything to anybody, whether it's the clerk at the store or the person on the phone, the help desk on the phone with some company you're trying to get something. It's like we'll just say anything, just almost like we're under the assumption that, yeah, it doesn't make a difference what I say. I don't have to be concerned whatsoever about if this person takes that home, or I don't have to be concerned about even where that person is in life. I have no idea. We have no idea what happened to that person this day, what they're dealing with, where they are in life. I don't have to worry about that. I just say whatever I want to say. And I think way too many of us live life that way, and it really is what's starting to make life shittier, quite frankly. Because what that equates to is, living life like you're watching it on TV. That equates to, I don't give a damn. It equates to whatever I want to say or I want to do, that's what I'm going to say, that's what I'm going to do, and nothing else matters. I mean, really. And most people, they won't say that that's what they're thinking, but when you look at the way they actually act, that is exactly what's happening. So you'll kind of see in my responses to things here, I make a very strong effort. Again, I don't do it all the time by any means, but I try to, in life, always keep that in mind of, if I say this, this is how this might affect this person that I absolutely don't know. So that's something I try to live by. Now, the second thing, too, is that I always try to, and I think I've always done a fairly good job of trying to see both sides of an issue. As much as I like to debate about politics and religion and stuff, I love it. I love getting into those debates and everything. And I can get very passionate, and I have my points of view and trying to explain why I think that way, or debating someone else's point of view or whatever. But even after it's all said and done, or while we're going through that, the whole time I'm thinking, and you know what? My point of view is no more right or wrong than your point of view. That's just one simple value system that I never leave, no matter how much I may disagree with you or how much I may think you're wrong. It's just that I don't, for lack of better terms, I don't have the balls to think that I was the one person that was born into the world actually knowing what's right. You know, and I think to take that attitude has to be the most conceited thing that any human being can possibly do. And that's a lot of where I get into with my politics and religion is I have my point of view, my belief, I'm passionate about it. But for me just to say, I was born knowing the right thing politically, the right thing spiritually, it's like, you know, I know, so I can argue to the death that I'm right. Debating and arguing that you're right, two totally different things. But anyway, I don't want to get off track here. But that gives you an idea about how my noggin works. So now, let's jump into some of the points, and again, I think that may help you understand a bit about where I come from with some of these points. Well, one of the things that was talked about was too many videos. You know, someone posts a lot of videos, and when you open up your, you know, your YouTube page or whatever, it can kind of fill up that area that shows new videos that have come in and so forth. Well, again, I have two different perspectives on that. Can I understand someone saying, you know, yeah, a bunch of videos there clogging up and blah, blah, blah. Sure. But at the same time, on this side, I'm going to say to the people making all the videos, don't dare stop. If you have something to say or something going on or, you know, whatever the case may be, and you have the urge to make a video, I don't care if you turn the camera on for 5 seconds and say, hey, VC, and turn it off. If you have an urge to do that, do not dare stop doing that for anybody whatsoever. You know, I mean, number one, this is YouTube. I don't think the 4 videos I post in one day is going to clog up YouTube. You know, there was probably only 5 billion uploaded before I said that, before I put my 4 videos, another 5 billion the 2 minutes afterwards. I mean, that's just there's nothing inside me whatsoever that would tell anyone to stop making videos. You go through flows. Sometimes you hit a lot of scores, so you make a lot of videos. Sometimes you have long dry spells, you're busy, whatever the case may be, you don't. But, I mean, don't dare decide whether to click your record button based on if you think you're making too many videos or not. Share everything. On the flip side, can I understand someone saying all these videos popping up, clogging up space and, you know, so forth? Sure, I can understand that. I've experienced that myself. But it's not an issue. I mean, even from the standpoint of people taking the side of, you know, well, if you don't like what I'm doing, unsubscribe. I don't even think we have to go there. You know, and that's stuff we've heard back and forth in the VC for literally like years now. But, I mean, I'll just tell you what I do. Videos pop up. If there's too many videos going along, I do have the option to unsubscribe and then just say, I'll go check in on their channel every now and then when I want and just kind of see what videos they posted, maybe watch a couple, or maybe I don't want every single video coming over, but I do want to check in on their channel every now and then. I can unsubscribe and do that. Or, right to the right, there's those 3 little boxes that pop up that you can click on, and it'll say, remove from feed. So, maybe if I open up my channel, all these videos have popped up, I can just click remove from feed, and it'll just take those new videos that were posted and erase them out of the feed. So I don't even have to unsubscribe. I can just say, I don't want to deal with, you know, this particular group of videos for whatever reason. And, you know, it just seems to be a very, very simple thing to solve. And anytime you're talking about the length of videos or too many videos, that, again, I understand how it can bug someone or not rub them or not be what they want. That's probably a better way to put it. But to throw that back towards the person that's posting the videos, I just don't think there's much warranted there, because I've always found it's kind of the same argument about cable. I love hearing people complain about how bad cable is and all this nasty stuff that's on cable and all this stuff on primetime TV and it's so horrible and blah, blah, blah. And my first response to that is, wait a second. Are you telling me you moved into this new place, you called up the cable company, they told you, as busy as your schedule is, We can be there sometime on Thursday between noon and 4. We can't tell you exactly when, but you just make sure you take off work and sit around for 4 hours and wait for us. And what do? You take off work. You sit there and wait for them. You let a stranger into your house. He or she is fiddling with all this stuff. And then you send them money every month. I can't believe this stuff is in my house. I can't believe this stuff is on cable television. It's very easy to get rid of it. Don't pay your bill. I mean, they will take all of it out of your house just like that. No problem. You don't like this nasty stuff? I don't want to send you any more money. Sure, no problem. We'll take it right out of your house. Sorry about that. But, you know, so it's the same thing here. In order to see someone's leaving long videos or a lot of videos, we have to subscribe to their channel. So, again, I don't think that it has to be a black and white. You make too many videos, so I'm going to unsubscribe. Remove the feed on that set of videos, or unsubscribe and go back to them as you choose. It doesn't have to be a love or hate you type thing. So that's how I feel about the too many videos and length of videos. You know, I think that's how we can handle it on the side of not liking, because there have been, I should say, some people in the videos that have made, like, who was that used to make very long videos? Oh God, I'm drawing a total blank. But I should say this too. One of the things that I've done sometimes on longer videos is I'll kind of skim through. Especially if they're showing stuff, you kind of move that bar really slow across the bottom and you can see some of the stuff they're flashing. I may watch parts of it, come back to it later. I mean, there's all different kind of ways to handle a long video that maybe you don't have 40 minutes to sit back and watch. You know, another good example is, we're talking about filling up the inbox. There are some people that may do record drops, or, you know, or needle drops, I should say, where they might play an entire record they just got, you know, like each song. And it's just a picture, you know, camera focused on the record, and it's just like 12 or 14 videos. So that might be one where I go through and remove the feed, because I know I'm not going to go through and listen to those particular videos or watch those, whatever the case may be. But again, it doesn't have to be either or. You just kind of play it by ear what you want to do at the moment. So that takes care of too many videos and length of videos. The next one was about people stop posting, and also like farewell videos. That was one that I think Spud Boy kind of brought up. People stop posting. I don't know. I guess I expect that. You know, let's put it this way. I posted my first video in 2008. The VC, in my mind, started, and you know, obviously it started from different branches coming from some different places and kind of going like this, but from my perspective, where the VC started was late 2008 going into early 2009. Sean was the first person I saw posting videos, and I don't think there really wasn't a lot of people that were responding or posting as well. Sean was kind of out there in no man's land, doing desert island videos and all kinds of stuff. So he was posting good stuff. Then I started posting a couple of videos hoping that someone else would post as well. Then some guy by the name of What's Up Hamadi, I don't think he posted videos, but What's Up Hamadi asked me, what are your 5 most influential albums of all time that really kind of develop your musical taste? I did a response to that. Dan in Canada, one of my favorite VC members that doesn't post anymore and shut his channel down, he did a response to that, to my response to that video. And from there is where I know, you know, from my perspective, where a few other people came on and did responses and became what we know today as the vinyl community. So now again, I'm saying, I know there's been other branches that have come in here and there, but from my perspective, that's where the VC actually started. And I've, you know, so I have the luxury of saying that for the most part, I've been around the VC since day one. And what that means to me is, that's what, 5, going on 6 years in the making. People are going to fall off. I mean, there's maybe hobbies and things that I did, or even to say life was a bit different 3 years ago than it is now. How many music rooms have you seen from me over the time I've been in the VC? So over the course of that 6 years, it just makes sense to me that people are going to come, people are going to go, people are going to get busy, people are going to, you know, whatever. So it's understandable why people would drop out. Um, now, on the other side, again, I kind of play that both sides thing. Understanding why people would drop out. On the other side, I don't understand why when people say I'm not going to post anymore, why they shut their channel down and take all their videos away. That's something that I don't get as much. I always think, well, maybe if you don't want to deal with emails and stuff like that, I can maybe understand that, but I think there's a way you can block that too. But you know, most of you that are doing that or have done that, like Dan is a great example. I mean, the guy had an incredible collection. His knowledge of music was just, I mean, it was out there, and I learned so much from him. And there's so many of his videos I would love to go back and just dig back into. But when he stopped posting, he shut the channel down, took all the videos out. So I mean, all of it sounds corny, but it's true. All of Dan's knowledge is gone. And so on this side, I can understand someone not having the time and stopping, but I really wish people would leave their videos so that those of us that want to reflect on them again can do that. And then also, new VC members can experience that knowledge and greatness. It's not like Dan's perspective on an album goes out of style or is out of whack 5 years from now. I mean, again, the dude knew what he was talking about, and I really miss seeing his videos. But if he felt that's what was right for him, I'm all in Dan's corner on that. So that's how I feel about the not posting anymore. Farewell videos. Start on this side again. Personally, I don't necessarily like the farewell videos. You know, I just kind of going back to the whole taking your channel down and everything else. If you stop posting, I understand. But, you know, instead of farewell cutting off videos, I wish they would leave the videos they've done up. On the other side, I can totally understand someone making a farewell video. And the reason why, again, the vinyl community has been around how many years now? If you've been interacting and developing friendships and everything with people for 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, year and a half, whatever, I mean, those are true bonded friendships and connections that we make here. You need to say bye. You just don't have someone that you've been sharing and sending stuff back and forth to and interacting all the time, and all of a sudden, I just disappeared off the face of the earth. No, you're going to want to go to those people that have supported you, said all these nice things about you that you've been interacting with, and like the need to say goodbye to good friends. So I can understand the farewell video as well. Now, again, is it my favorite thing to see or watch or whatever? No, for the reasons I just described. But you have to be able to totally understand why someone would make a farewell video. And quite frankly, if I ever left a VC, I'm pretty sure I would make a farewell video too. I mean, I just have too many friends that I've just known for, you know, just, again, the connections just get that close. And I think it also goes with the dirty laundry thing. I think Spudboy mentioned about how he doesn't like people unloading their dirty laundry and stuff like that. Well, and I kind of consider that more opening up, not necessarily dirty laundry. But again, you cannot expect people to be connected, communicating, and interacting with each other for years and just think it's all going to stay surfacey. That it's all going to stay, look at this record, this group is awesome, this guy joined the band in 1980, blah, 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 and this is their 3rd record. Look at this. I mean, it's not going to stay that surfacey. If we're going to interact and share stuff and talk to each other on the phone and actually meet, you know, people in person. I mean, I've had VC members that have come to my house. I've had 2 or 3 that have come into town and came into my home. Our interactions are not going to be, look at this record. Isn't it great? Show me your record. No, it's going to start to get personal, and those things are going to come out. So the more this community grows and the more these relationships develop over months and months and years and years and years, it's going to get personal and get way beyond just showing vinyl, showing a vinyl record. The Beatles thing, this is one that always tends to come up. And I've needed to say this for some time, so this is kind of the perfect opportunity to kind of address that. Now, I think me and Mr. Mayo was one of the people that were talking about this before, and I know he's a huge Beatles fan. And my take on people showing a lot or even too many whatever Beatles albums or talking about the Beatles or whatever else, for anyone to say you show too much of anything in the VC, it's just, no. I mean, I don't buy that whatsoever. If you love the Beatles, and that's what drives you, that's what you've been spinning all the time, that's what takes up a good chunk or the majority of your musical energy, you know, the essence of who you are music-wise and everything else, and you get the urge to get on camera and talk about the Beatles and everything else, you make as many Beatles videos as you want. You talk about them as much as you want. I don't care if you talk about the same album every other week because you discover something different in it every other week. You do it. That's what the VC is all about, is expression of your love and joy from music, whatever that music is. So that's kind of my take on the big Beatles fans out there. Don't dare stop showing any certain amount of any group whatsoever, Beatles or otherwise, because you think it's too much or whatever else. If you're digging it, freaking show it, period. Now on this side, like I said, now on this side, one of the things that I would say to Beatles fans, like, because I'm not a, I mean, the Beatles are just one other group to me, you know, period. One other group to me. So the thing that I don't like about the Beatle heads, if you will, it's not everyone, of course, but with all the time I've been in the VC, I think I've seen 3 videos that I recall. And I'm sure there's others, because Lord knows I have not come anywhere near seeing a majority of the videos in the VC. But there are 3 videos that I've seen where someone said, in, I mean, no uncertain terms, very clearly, if you don't like this, or if you don't dig this, there's something wrong with you musically. Or, what was the one that one guy said? I have to seriously question your music something. All 3 of those times that was said, it was about people not liking the Beatles. So I say, show the Beatles and do whatever you want with that. That's your love. Put it out there and go for it. At the same time, typically, I shouldn't say typically, what I've seemed to have noticed is that when you look at some of the most judgmental type of things that come from, if you don't like this, there's something wrong with you, that's almost always Beatles fans, in my experience. So that somewhat uppity type attitude of, you know, if you don't dig this thing, if you don't dig this band, you have a problem. That bothers me on this side. So that's one, and again, I'm not saying all Beatles fans do that, obviously, but the times I've experienced that, I've heard that about the Beatles more so than any other band ever, is being judged by not liking them to the degree that Beatlemaniacs do. So that's kind of the balance of the Beatles thing. Do your thing, but then also keep in mind, don't just go disrespecting people or just, you know, saying that they lack something because they don't dig what you dig. That's absolute no-no. The same way I wouldn't accept that for someone saying, if you don't dig Metallica, there's something wrong with you. If you don't dig whatever, there's something wrong with you. If you tell someone there's something wrong with them because they don't like a certain type of music, there's probably a bigger issue with you, not them. So that's kind of my both sides of the coin on the Beatles thing. VC only about vinyl. Or VC supposed to be about vinyl. I think that's the same thing I mentioned before about relationships growing. Initially, did we come together because we were all people out there sharing vinyl and everything else? Yes, but I mean, truly the VC is a community that's about music. We were brought together with vinyl, but it's about music. And even then, it went from just showing vinyl, here's what I have, here's my AC/DC collection. I mean, I go back and look at my early videos. It was a lot of, look at this, look at this. But then it kind of transformed into all these threads that started happening. There was like a time period there where it was a full-time job keeping up with all the threads. And so it became a little more so about, this is why I like this is why I like that. Now it's more so like, that's my boy LJ, that's my boy Robert, that's my, you know, that's my girl Trish. So now it's like, okay, we're friends now even above just when we started by showing the vinyl. Then we started talking more about why we like the vinyl. Now we're starting to talk about why we like each other. You know, it's a growth. So as the VC gets older and older and older, we're going to see a lot more than just vinyl talk going on here. And then the last thing on here too, this kind of goes back to I guess the video that Robert Z did about his collection, where I guess some people felt like he kind of insulted their collections a little bit with some of the things that he said about, you know, condition and some stuff that he considers junk and that type of thing. I guess that there's two things I would say about that, and this is kind of something I actually kind of put out about really all relationships, and I even really strongly suggest, you know, maybe even, and again, I don't know everything, but it's just something that I feel is a strong thing that I try to live by. So I'm just kind of sharing me, and that is, you know, number one, be able to approach someone and ask them about something without necessarily accusing, just automatically being you're guilty. And that can be tough. I mean, we all slip when trying to do that. But, you know, try as many times in life as we can to do that, to be able to ask. Number two, be able to give a person that you know and trust on whatever level the benefit of the doubt. Be able to ask, be able to give the benefit of the doubt. Now, where that comes into play, let's say like, let's use like a relationship, for example. If I'm dating someone, and let's say we've been together for a year, and you know, things have been good, we decide to take this vacation, we're going somewhere for 5 days, and you know, it's been good. We have first 3 days, everything has been great, and then we're going out to lunch, and we're having just a great time, and they say one little thing that just rubs me wrong for some reason. They don't even realize they said it. And then, so, I have these feelings that draw up. Now, I think I have two choices I could make at that point in time. I could get mad and say, you hurt my feelings, you whatever, and I can kind of, you know, start a little something. Or I can also take the point of view of, okay, wait a second. I've known this person for a year. You know, we always get along. You know, we've always been respectful to each other and everything else. We went on vacation, and the last 3 days have been perfect. It's been great. Everything's been going awesome. We're having this great lunch. And now, all of a sudden, I'm just going to believe they just decided to screw everything up and say something out of my skin without them even knowing it. Like, they just made this decision 3.5 days into the vacation to screw everything up. So I'm just going to get mad and start yelling. You know, just get pissed off and just say, I can't believe you did this and blah, blah, blah. Like, to me, that almost makes no sense whatsoever. If I've been with this person for a year and I trust them, I know they care about me, I care about them, we've had all these instances of just, you know, sharing and being there for each other and respecting each other. When something like that happens, do I have enough inside of me to go, wait a second. Number one, I need to ask them if what I heard was what I heard, because based on everything I know about them, they don't feel that way towards me, or they don't want to screw up our vacation 3.5 days into this 5-day vacation. That can't be their intention. So I must be taking something in wrong. So I need to ask them, and that couples with, I need to give them the benefit of the doubt. I really need to give them the benefit of the doubt to think they probably just really don't know what they just said bothered me. Okay, I need to ask you about this. You know, when you said that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, is that, you know, what exactly did that mean, or, you know, whatever. So again, I'm going through the whole little spiel to say, I think sometimes, you know, don't live life like you're watching on TV. Do the exact same thing when you're in the VC, for example. If you're somebody says something that maybe rubs you the wrong way. I mean, sometimes things are just very blunt, and it is what it is. I mean, you know, you can't get along with everybody and whatever. But I think like that situation with Robert, because again, I mean, that's who everyone's referring to when they talk about the insulting about the collection and everything. You know, again, can anybody really go back and say that Robert is not one of the jokingest, wackiest, I mean, just buddy kind of guys in, you know, one of the most in the VC? I mean, that's one of the things that I love about Robert so much. When I first started watching his videos, I was kind of like, okay, this dude, and then all of a sudden, this like joking personality comes out of him, and you're like, that doesn't even belong. Like even just his initial presence just doesn't even encompass his personality and his sense of humor and just how crazy he is. He totally cracks me up. But again, it was that same situation, because when Robert made some of those comments, I actually thought about it too, because I was like, that sounded kind of... But then I thought, well, wait a second. Robert is all about the VC. You know, Robert is all about talking to people and sharing music and watching other people's videos and commenting on videos, you know, and all of that. So there's no way all of a sudden he could just be dumping on everyone in the VC or anything. It doesn't make sense. And then on top of that, let me ask him, hey, when you were talking about this and that and blah, 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 I said, oh, no, I was talking about this and that and blah, blah. It's like, oh, okay, because I thought, and we had like this cool, not even a debating dialogue, but just tell me what you were thinking when you, oh, yeah, this is what I meant. And again, it's just kind of like, really, do we immediately have to go to unsubscribe and do, it's like, no. Talk to people. Holy cow. And if you have people in the VC that you can't give that much of the benefit of the doubt to ask them that type of question, then I do suggest that you unsubscribe to them. If you don't have enough of a relationship with someone to be able to ask, what exactly did you mean? Or I was curious what you meant. I mean, if you can't ask that of someone, that's not even on near the level of even being a friend. You know, so that's kind of my response to that whole thing about, you know, if someone says something in the VC that rubs you wrong. If you actually consider them some type of a friend or enough to subscribe to them, freaking check in. Let's not be like the little kids let's not be the 12-year-old girls on the playground that, I shouldn't even say 12-year-olds, actually, they're more mature half the time than the 16, 17-year-olds these days. No insult to anyone. But I mean, I'm just saying, let's not be on the playground, you know, with someone said something, they have no idea they said it. Now we're over here whispering, yeah, she's just, let's not play with her. Let's not, and she's just over there thinking, wait a minute, what did I do? What happened? What's going on? I mean, come on, we're adults. Even more so, we should be friends, or people you interact with. It should be, you know, you're friends enough to at least reach out and say, hey, I was wondering what you meant, or what was or what was going on when, or did I take this the wrong way? I mean, come on, how hard can that be? I guess the last two things I'll kind of bring up here, and one is kind of right to Octavia, because he mentioned he made a comment about someone, their age, and saying someone coming on asking about a record or saying something about a bootleg or something pressing, and you know, about how the records that he had was older than, you know, the kid himself, and you know, he probably just got the information off the internet and blah blah blah. And I don't know, I guess I guess to that one I would just kind of say, you know, yeah, and that why should that be a big deal? In the sense of, if I don't want to have a conversation with this person, then okay, maybe I won't respond, I won't have a conversation. But at the same time, you know, if I buy a new record and I'm curious about it and I look something up online and I get that information, I may get just kind of excited about sharing that story. I just learned something new, and to the point to where I want to come to my vinyl/music community and share something new I just learned about with music. I don't think that should ever be bad in any way. You know, just because I wasn't there in 1973 to see this Led Zeppelin concert live, doesn't mean I may not learn something about it tomorrow that I want to share with the VC that I think is kind of cool. I don't know. I had a hard time seeing the issue with that particular. That was when I had a hard time kind of seeing both sides. I can understand maybe not being a conversation that he wanted to engage in. You know, I can understand that. But I mean, if I have a 17-year-old kid that's actually going back to groups and albums 30 years ago and learning about them or reading about them or whatever else, I kind of like applaud that. It's like, you know, thank God there's not one more 16-year-old kid that's just fallen beholden to whatever they play on the radio, or just, you know, top 40 or whatever is push, you know, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, or Justin Bieber, or, you know, just kind of any other mainstream things that are just markedly, is that a word, markedly? It's just you know, just pushed through marketing. So, yeah, I mean, I would take that as a positive thing for a kid to be going back and actually experiencing or getting some of that music inside of them. Matter of fact, it's one of my favorite things to see in the VC is younger people that are, you know, to say 20 or younger, whose collections are filling up with the great stuff from the 60s and 70s. I mean, I love that. It's like, you kids aren't going to miss out. You can have today's stuff, but you're also catching the stuff from tomorrow. So that's all I have to say about age. So in conclusion, probably my longest video ever, actually. Holy cow. I guess the very last thing I would say is, you know, again, I'm going back to the not living life like you watch it on TV. The VC doesn't just always happen. So any of the negative stuff that you even see in the VC, it's not like it's it just happens. The VC is what we make it, you know. So if you choose to bring, just like everything else in life for that matter, if you choose to bring negativity into the VC, if you choose to be pissed off at someone, you know, if you choose to have a negative feeling towards someone as opposed to just unsubscribing or just removing a feed or asking a question to clarify, I mean, if you choose to take the most negative route, then the VC is going to suck for you. I mean, it really is. You know, for me, that's not going to be the case. You know, for me, I come to the VC to share what I want to share, number one, and when I put it out there, I just assume some people will connect with this and some people won't. When I put out certain 80s stuff, I just tend to know Adam Lee is going to be right there. He's going to be, you know, this is going to be a video for him, so to speak. You know, when I put out, I don't know, some breakdancing stuff, or, you know, start talking about 80s movies or something like that, I just typically know LJ is going to kind of be there, and, you know, he's going to blow up with comments and everything else. You know, you start putting out Opeth and, you know, start showing a lot of different, just good hardcore metal stuff and everything else. You know, Sarah's going to be there, and, you know, just kind of on down the line. If you go into this, I think, expecting, number one, for every subscriber or every person to be on board with every video that you make, I don't know. I don't have that expectation. What I guess the only expectation I have is just for everyone to just respect each other. No more or no less. So again, the VC will be what you make it. So before we comment all the time and say certain things all the time, or, you know, have to get pissed off at each other all the time, just always remember that the VC is what you make it. So again, guys, don't live life like you watch it on TV. Make sure you're actually in it. And my longest video ever. So let me know what you guys think. Alright, we'll talk to you later, VC.